Hey there, I'm Bradley Hecker. Today we're going to talk about firearm safety. And whether you're a seasoned veteran or you're brand new to the gun world, firearm safety is the most important thing. Because as long as we're safe, we're having fun. But if we don't have safety in mind, we could potentially hurt ourselves or someone around us, and that will be a very quick way to end your firearm shooting experience. By participating in this online firearm safety program, you acknowledge and agree that Tactical Beards Gun Shop LLC, the Ricochet Report Inc., Safety First SI LLC, and Bradley Hecker are not responsible for any accidents, incidents, or mishaps that may occur as a result of your participation. Furthermore, these entities shall hold no responsibility for any damages, injuries, or fatalities incurred during or after the completion of this program or related practices. Participants are solely responsible for their actions, safety, and adherence to all applicable laws and safety protocols. Additionally, the use of this program or its videos by anyone other than the aforementioned parties is strictly prohibited. Unauthorized reproduction, distribution, or use of the course materials is not permitted and may be subject to legal action. It's always important to follow the safe gun handling rules for your gun club or gun range. Some gun ranges or clubs may have something called a safe table. The safe table is a specific area for uncasing or unbagging your firearm. And you'll notice no ammo is allowed at the safe table. This includes live ammunition, empty casings, snap caps, or dummy rounds. Let's make sure there's nothing in here. Now, how do I know which side to open up the case by? We always want to have the muzzle pointed in a safe direction. As you can see here, they've designated this nice big dirt hill as a safe direction. Little pro tip, making sure we have some sort of marking that will guide us in which direction the muzzle is facing will help ensure that when we open up this case, they're all facing that way. But if you don't have a marking, or you just want to make sure, before we reach inside, we can just take a peek and say, yep, all the firearms are pointed in that direction. It's safe to open up at this time. Now I can reach in, take out my firearm, and perform a clearing procedure. I see there's no magazine inside of it. I'm going to rack it and lock it to the rear. I'm going to visually and physically inspect the chamber and the magazine well. I know that it's clear, safe, and empty. I can set it down. A safety flag is an indicator that'll help everyone know this firearm is empty without it having to be cleared, showing that the firearm has already been previously cleared. It's important that the safety flag runs into the chamber of the firearm and not into the grip of the firearm. That way they know just from walking by they can tell there's nothing in the chamber and they can see an empty magazine well. After we performed our inspection and we know for a fact that this firearm is clear, it is safe to send the slide forward, we can press the trigger at this time and we can holster our firearm. Rule number 1, always keep your firearm pointed in a safe direction. What does that mean exactly? Well, if you look at this range we have here, we have 3 berms that wrap around this range, all right? A right berm, a left berm, and then the back berm. And the back berm is what we're actually going to be shooting at. But this spillover allows us to make sure that if our firearm points a little bit to the left, a little bit to the right, we know that impact would be in a safe direction. However, if the range rules say you cannot shoot at the side berms, do not set up any targets in a place where you may accidentally shoot into the side berms. The second rule of firearm safety, always keep your finger off the trigger until you're ready to shoot. That means we can handle our firearm, we can operate our firearm, all while doing so pointed in a safe direction, but our finger is going to stay high and away from the trigger until we've made the decision that I'm on target and ready to shoot the gun. The finger may be along the frame or along the slide, but we don't want to rest our finger on the trigger guard. Resting our finger on the trigger guard may result in us accidentally putting pressure, slipping off, and pressing that trigger. The third rule of firearm safety, always keep your firearm unloaded until ready to use. Now, if you carry a firearm every day, obviously you're ready to use it in case something happens. But here on the range, we're going to keep the firearm unloaded and we're going to follow the rules of the range. A range like this one, the rules are until you are on the range itself and ready to shoot your targets, your firearm stays unloaded. So, we're going to make sure to follow the rules of the range when we enter the range if we're carrying that day. If your gun club or gun range has an unloading station, a designated place to unload and load your firearm, when you go into and leave the range, make sure to stop there before you continue. The fourth rule of firearm safety: know your target, what is beyond, what is in front, and what is to the sides of it. Why is that important? Well, in this case, it's really easy to see this white target against a brown background. But if I'm not paying attention, there could potentially be something or someone behind that target that I don't want to shoot at. In the case of the outdoors, perhaps a wild animal, like a chipmunk or something really cute, or even something scary is running by, and I'm not supposed to shoot at that. Additionally, shooting at large rocks or cinder blocks, something like that, could result in a ricochet and can cause an injury. Be sure your firearm is safe to operate. Ensuring your firearm is always in proper working condition is essential to making sure you have a safe and fun experience. Be sure you know how to operate the firearm safely. Taking a reputable training course with a good quality instructor will make sure that you know how to operate that firearm at all times. Choose the correct ammunition, the correct target, and the correct distance. Shooting at different types of targets like cardboard and steel are a lot of fun, but make sure that you're doing so at a safe distance, especially with steel targets. Steel targets mean that a metal bullet will impact a metal target, and that will always cause a ricochet. So if the target isn't set up properly, or you're too close to that target, it could result in an injury. Additionally, certain types of ammunition may not be safe for your firearm or safe for your environment. Shooting high-pressure ammunition known as +P in your firearm not rated to do so may cause damage to your firearm. Never operate a firearm when under the influence. Drugs and alcohol may and can result in injuries or death while operating a firearm. It is so important to stay far away from that when at the gun range. Investing in good quality hearing protection will ensure your experience at the range lasts for a very long time. Electronic hearing protection such as these, whether you go with in the ear or over the ear, will ensure you can hear what's going on the range, whether it's a range command or a friend talking to you, while also muffling the sound of gunshots. Good quality eye protection will come with shatter-resistant lenses and wraparound eye protection. This will ensure that our eyes will be protected from all angles. Always remember during the loading and unloading procedures that our finger must stay high and away from the trigger and our muzzle is pointed in a safe direction downrange. To load your firearm, start by picking up your firearm in your dominant hand and your magazine in your support side hand. Place it into the grip firmly and give it a tug to make sure it stayed in. To send the slide forward, we have a few options available to us. We can do what's called handover method, placing our palm on one side, our fingers on the other, pulling back and letting go. We can perform what's called a slingshot method, by putting our thumb on one side and our finger on the other, pulling back and letting go. We can also press downward on the slide stop lever, sending the slide forward. If you're starting by loading your firearm in the slide open position, simply place the magazine in and use one of your favorite methods. But remember, when loading your firearm and the slide is forward already, we'll have to pull and release. We will not be able to use the slide stop lever. To unload our firearm, remove the magazine, rack the round out of the chamber, lock the slide to the rear, perform our visual and physical inspection of both the magazine well and the chamber, and if we're satisfied, we can place our firearm down and put our flag back in. At this point in time, we can reload our magazines or look at our target. If you experience a malfunction such as this one, and you're unsure what to do, simply place the firearm down, point it in the safe direction towards your target, and take a step back. Find a range officer or a friend, someone more knowledgeable in firearms who can help guide you on how to clear this malfunction safely. However, if you know how to clear a malfunction, you can go ahead and perform so at this time. Always remember, when dealing with a malfunction, that your finger should be high and away from the trigger along the frame or the slide. If you experience a malfunction and you don't have a table in front of you, you're shooting from holster, keep the firearm pointed in a safe direction and use your other hand to wave for assistance. Now that you've learned about firearm safety, I encourage you to go out there, have fun, learn, and enjoy your time. Just be safe.